Today we will how to the beginning of your wedding planning journey. Stay tuned. Howdy how-to-ligans! Today I want to start a topic which will be a months-long, maybe even years-long topic. Weddings! Weddings are basically homecoming dances for adults, and as such, many brides, aka homecoming queens, strive for whatever their version of perfection is. I'm not trying to tell you how to plan a big wedding, or a small wedding, or a rustic wedding, or a destination wedding. I'm trying to tell you how to plan your wedding. What I'll be teaching you in this series are the skills to plan any wedding you want. Please take a moment to hit the subscribe button and the cowbell so you are up to date on notifications on when I post new content. Also, please do comment below and let me know a little bit about your wedding planning process so far. I'll be posting new content every How Tuesday, so please do join me. As some of you may know from my other videos, I'm a very detailed planner. And as an extremely detailed planner, it is my extreme pleasure to introduce to you the true star of my wedding planning book. I know, it's big. Yes, that was the camera shaking from the weight of the book on the table. This book allowed me to plan every aspect of my wedding to the T, and I must say, it was great. I had a wonderful wedding. Not flawless, but the few minor hiccups we did have didn't influence the day at all. I want to take this first episode as an opportunity to explain how I intend to structure this entire series so you can choose which episodes you need for your wedding. Okay, let's cover what you do immediately after you are proposed to or do the proposing yourself. Forming a budget and figuring out where the money is coming from. First step for any party, event, vacation, wedding is a budget. Figuring out how much money you can afford to spend is crucial. So many people realize with a month left until their wedding that they're missing crucial things and end up maxing out their credit cards to get those things that honestly might or might not be a big deal at all. I was careful enough with my budget and was able to actually come in significantly under budget on my wedding. Engagement party and engagement photo shoot. Yay, you're engaged now! It's so wonderful! An engagement party and engagement photo shoot are completely optional items. You can decide to lump them together under the budget for your wedding planning, or you don't really have to either. I personally decided not to have an engagement party due to some family issues that I was having at the time, but I still know exactly how to plan a great one, and I can help you do that. We had a great engagement photo shoot, and I'll be posting a lot of those pictures here. Camera click, camera click, camera click, camera click. Ah, when we were young and had our whole lives ahead of us. Amazing how kids just change everything. I, of course, mean in the best possible way. I'll help you decide what works for you and the technical information you need to get the prints or copies that you want. Picking your venue and date. Congratulations! This is literally the first and most concrete thing you will plan for your wedding, period. Aside from the budget, the venue and the date are the wedding. Picking your wedding party or telling your friends you're not gonna have one. This is where a little bit of etiquette goes a long way. I'll explain everything that has to do with your wedding party so you can decide who to ask, who not to ask, and how to let people down easily and not hurt feelings throughout the entire process. Picking your wedding day helpers and child attendants. This is similar to the wedding party, and I'm going to urge you to not pick any names for these slots either until you've actually watched the How to Pick Your Wedding Party video. I'll explain in tons of detail how and why to pick certain people to help at your wedding. Guest list. Alright, this is another area where you can really hurt some feelings if you're not careful. I'll go over how to use your budget to figure out how many people you can invite, how to minimize the number of people you have to invite. You'll understand what that means soon enough if you don't already. And also figure out who you want to invite. Invitations and save the dates. Do you need these things? Do they have to be paper mail-outs? How do you organize everything? I will explain everything you need to know about invitations, etiquette, and save the dates so you can pick the best option for you. I know this is starting to sound really daunting. I'm not even halfway through all of the episodes that are going to make up this wedding series, but I want you to be able to focus on one element at a time and to make this information as easy to implement as possible. Believe me, if I can do it, I know you can too. Out-of-town guest coordination. Some of you will be able to breathe a sigh of relief that you don't have to worry about anything like this. And others of you can't even imagine how to pull together that many hotel and travel reservations for just one day and that many people. Wait until your family wants to come into town early to spend some time with you 1 week before the wedding. It can be pretty sticky trying to coordinate last-minute meetings and hanging out with the fam. Food and drink. This will be something you want to get pulled together fairly early in the planning process. But this will be where the episodes start to fall out of chronological order and you have a little bit more freedom of when to plan what when you want to. Budget, guest list, and invitations are pretty much non-negotiable because without those things, it's not really a wedding. The dress. Whether you are the pretty princess of your wedding or just don't happen to own anything that's white, I'll tell you how to get the perfect outfit for your wedding. I'll even cover who you should bring with you to the store and who you should just show pictures on your phone of the options later on. Accessories and shoes. This episode is about how to finish your look. Tiara, no tiara, veil, no veil, shoes, no shoes, whatever. Wedding party outfits. Okay, there's a lot of etiquette associated with the wedding party, and it doesn't even matter if you're going traditional or more unorthodox. Who pays for what? I'll discuss all of the logistics to make sure that your friends are still your friends after your wedding. Hair and makeup. This one kind of ends up being forgotten until the last minute, and then you can't get a good appointment with the salon that you want. I don't know how many episodes of Bridezilla I've seen where girls are losing their S out in front of a nail salon. Don't be that bride. The ceremony. Are you having a deeply religious ceremony? Or more of a bohemian bond before Mother Earth? I'll discuss what you need to do to find out what your religion requires of you. Yep, there are usually things that you must do to be married by an official of almost any religion. And also the things that you need to think of to make sure that your wedding is legally binding. Because that's really the point, right? The reception. Yay! The real reason people come to your wedding. The party! This episode will cover what things, entertainment-wise, will happen during your reception. Do you want a cake cutting? Or a bouquet toss? Maid of honor speech? This is where we're gonna put our timeline together. Decor. Decide what look you want, what look you can afford, what items you should leave to the professionals, and what items you can DIY yourself to save a little change. Photography / videography / music. Things are really starting to come together. This is definitely an episode you need to see. You don't want to work this hard on something and spend this much money on something to have no good pictures to remember it by. I'll actually be using photos and videos from my wedding to better explain ideas I'm trying to explain to you and give you an idea of what we chose. The cake. Okay, it doesn't have to be a cake. Whatever dessert option you want, we'll discuss when you should leave it to a professional and when you can DIY it yourself. Also, we will discuss pastry lingo, so you aren't talked into something that you don't really understand. the vows. This is something that, if you choose to write your own, you will probably procrastinate, just like in the movies. If working under pressure is your thing, then more power to you. But you will need to have a script written for the ceremony in case you decide to honor friends or family with a reading or something of that nature. Here's a little secret. Consider having some readings and other tasks to help keep your wedding party smaller and more manageable. You'll also be able to honor some of the family members that you are about to have. Maybe earn some brownie points. Just a suggestion. Hey groom, here's your job. Some grooms are very attentive with planning. Some aren't. This episode will teach you gents what responsibilities you have. Now, picking tablecloth colors is up to you and your soon-to-be bride. Maid of Honor Handbook. Okay, especially if you're young, like in your early 20s, or if none of your friends have gotten married before, you're not gonna know what you're expected to do. And why would you? This is your easy peasy guide to do all things MOH. Best Man Handbook. I wouldn't forget you guys. Best man, you have a whole list of things that you need to help with too. Most of them are pretty different than the Maid of Honor, but we'll get into everything. Gifts for your wedding party, attendants, and families. No one wants to help out with your wedding, donating hours upon hours and probably a lot of money for you to get them something crappy. We will fix this. It was actually kind of funny at our rehearsal dinner. Every single person in the room was crying except me because I was too busy passing out the gifts to people. Felt pretty good, not gonna lie. The honeymoon. Your time to relax and get busy after all this hard work and planning. Well, not entirely. If you want to be able to relax entirely on your honeymoon, then you need to do all of your pre-game planning and get it all worked out ahead of time. Your brain will be mush after planning a wedding, and you don't want to have to plan a vacation after doing all of that. Believe me. Thank yous and winding down. The wedding is over, the honeymoon is over, and now you've got to snap back into reality. A few things will happen. Number one, now you and your fiancé are married. Time to step into that new role. Here's how to go from significant other to spouse. Number two, nobody cares about you anymore. You just spent somewhere around a year, maybe, planning your wedding, and therefore being the center of attention. Well, wake up, Sleeping Beauty, because that's all over now. But don't worry, I'll make sure your transition is as easy as possible. After the I do, living happily ever after. This is a two-part kind of episode. I'll tell you how to handle all the name-changey, governmenty kind of stuff. How to get extra copies of your official embossed marriage license, that kind of thing. Extra paperwork and who you have to send it to. Also, my husband Mike and I will talk to you from our points of view about how we handled what you're about to go through. Okay, wow. I'm a little tired just thinking about everything I told you we were gonna cover. Take a deep breath. I know this seems daunting, but I'll be breaking the planning process into several bite-sized chunks to make it a lot less stressful. I'll also be putting up for sale a copy of the template from my wedding planning book, which, look at this guy, filled to the brim. And you'll be able to take that information and customize it for your wedding. I'm probably most excited about wedding planning because it's such a personal way to express yourselves as a couple. So I can't wait for you to come on this journey with me. Please, please, please let me know what kinds of episodes you want to see and how often you think I should do wedding planning episodes versus party and vacation and other event planning episodes. Check back every How Tuesday and be sure to become a How-Tooligan by subscribing below. Click the bell for notifications on when I post new content. And Comment below and let me know what you'd be interested in seeing and to introduce yourself. Thanks for stopping by.